Hundreds of people have rallied in Adelaide's southern parklands over plans to move the police horses there. They're incensed by plans to build stables over native wildlife, but the government says there'll be no loss of parkland space in the long run.
We live in a very special state. We're a nature-loving state in South Australia.
These South Australians are saying nay to horses in the parklands.
It's kind of like all of our backyards. It's not one person's backyard, it belongs to us all.
These parklands are our parklands. They're not here for buildings, they're not here for the government to carve up.
Several hundred people gathered at Mirnu Wirra in Adelaide's southern parklands to protest the government's proposed site for the relocation of the police horses. They'll need to make way for the new Women's and Children's Hospital to be built on the historic Theberton Police Barracks.
This place has over 70 species of native plants, many rare native flowers and grasslands that don't exist anywhere else in the parklands. It is the wrong place to be putting a semi-industrial development.
Of all places, they've got to choose our parklands. I always thought that, parklands, are unique, is where we as a community, Aboriginal, non-Aboriginal, can enjoy those spaces.
One protester took his message straight to the Premier outside an event.
But this is rubbish. If you're stealing parklands, stop it.
The reason why we're doing that, of course, is to build a bigger, better women's and children's hospital that sets the state up for another generation to come.
Despite widespread opposition to development in the parklands, the government says that the relocation of the barracks and the construction of the new hospital will only have minor impacts.
We want to see minimal buildings. We're talking about housing police horses. We're not talking about a police station. We're not talking about, administration.
Police hope to move their horses here by the end of the year. Vicky Natafoulis, ABC News, Adelaide.
Hundreds of people turned out to protest SA Police relocating its mounted operations unit to the city parklands. A section of parklands has been identified as the preferred site since the police horse patrols were forced to move from their Theberton barracks for the new Women's and Children's Hospital build. Now, protesters say it will impact the most biodiverse zone in the Adelaide parklands that is home to rare wildflowers, native grass, birds and butterflies.
Just the nature, the biodiversity of that. To take that away from us, stunned, dismayed.
They're calling on the state government and SA Police to find a different location.
Well, the Premier's been caught up in an awkward verbal exchange with protesters outside a community meeting. He was ambushed by the group, upset by plans to move the police horse barracks to the South Parklands.
Arriving at a public meeting this morning, the Premier's greeted by a group of frustrated protesters.
You're stealing parklands, stop it.
Armed with a long list of questions.
Are you going to return 8 hectares of that land?
That's
what you're proposing to take, isn't it?
No, sir, that's not right.
They managed to take their message inside while hundreds more gathered in the South Parklands, voicing anger over the proposed 8-hectare site to house the police greys.
I just don't understand why they've chosen this site when it is such a beautiful site of biodiversity.
We are a nature-loving city. We care about our open space. We care about our trees.
They say the heritage-listed park should be protected, not used for office accommodation or stables for 40 horses.
And we need to protect what we have left.
Frustrated protesters say they've suggested other sites where the police greys could be housed, including the Keswick Barracks, but claim the state government's refusing to listen to them.
Not so, says the Premier.
The Keswick Barracks is something we're in active discussions with the federal government to try and actually take ownership over. And one of the reasons why we want to do that is our ambition is to use the Keswick Barracks site for something like more affordable housing.
Police have until the end of the year to find a new home before their barracks at Theberton are bulldozed to make way for the new Women's and Children's Hospital. Nathan Regter, 7 News.